Friday, March 25th, at dialysis with Piper. Um, last week, or last video that I made, I kind of went over the numbers of what we look at um, going through dialysis, just looking at all those numbers and such. And I had brought up that, with diet, we had been doing the best that we possibly can do to get her numbers in the green, in the average good area, and we've been doing that with diet. The last charts that I checked, I want to say everything was in the green except for the BUN and the creatinine, and that's the two that the lupus is in control of, and those are far off the charts, and they're not getting better. In a way, they're getting worse. The numbers are getting worse because they had dropped down and then they had slowly working their way back up, and they just keep going up a little bit. So with that in mind, kind of what we were leaning towards, Liz and I, thinking that the kidney transplant is probably more likely than not. That's always kind of been what's been hinted at without anybody really confirming that, because they have to go through the stages of things. So up to this point, she was considered acute kidney disease because of just the timeline involved. They have to do everything that they can and give as much time as they possibly can to see if the steroids and the other the steroid injections and the medication that we give her daily, if it's working or if it's doing anything. And apparently it's not really doing the trick. So Piper is officially in chronic kidney disease stage 5, which now kidney transplant is official. She needs a kidney transplant. That is official. After I made the video last week, I was called in to talk to a doctor and a nurse, and I kind of just, since all the numbers were so fresh in my head, I kind of asked all the right questions, and they had kind of confirmed that her being in the chronic kidney disease stage 5 is where she's headed. But on Wednesday, 2 days ago, we had the official meeting to tell us that she needs a kidney transplant for sure. So where we're at right now is the nephrologists are ready to get into the next stage and get going with it. But right now, they're talking with the rheumatologist. That's kind of the lupus doctor. Right now, they're waiting to see what the rheumatologist has to say. If the rheumatologist says, okay, yeah, let's get moving with the kidney transplant, then that's when Piper will get tested for all the types that she needs, and then Liz and I will be tested immediately after to see if we're a match. So the way that the numbers are going, and how I had said about the numbers not being good for her kidneys, I don't really see the rheumatologist saying like, oh, let's wait a few months, or, with the numbers not being good, I don't really see her saying that. But I also don't know anything about this, so right, so that's what we're at right now. The nephrologists are ready to move into the next stage of kidney transplant, so they're talking with the rheumatologist to see if they're ready to move ahead with this. And once that is official, that the rheumatologist is ready to go forth with the transplant, then we'll move forward. We'll start getting tested. So right now she has, there was talk of changing from, she has a hemodialysis port. It's called a catheter, it's called a CV line, a central venous catheter that's in her here. It's in a vein that's about right here. And there was talk of changing that to a peritoneal, which would be in your stomach, and that would do that. You would do dialysis at home with that. But with this in mind, with it being that she is in the chronic kidney disease stage 5, as long as the rheumatologist doesn't say, we need to wait several months, we're not even going to consider switching the hemo to the peritoneal, because basically it's another surgery that is unnecessary as far as we're concerned. Because if we're going to move forward with the kidney transplant, we're going to want to do that as quickly as possible. In a perfect world, she'll be tested, I'll be tested, I'll be a match, and then we'll do it as soon as possible. But we have to just kind of go with what we got. She'll be tested, we'll be tested, and when one of us is a match, then we'll move forward with that. So yeah, we're not gonna do the peritoneal if we're going to be moving into kidney transplant area soon. So that's where we're at right now. So yeah, luckily, we've kind of been moving in this direction slowly, so it hasn't, the debris from the bomb has kind of settled a little bit for me. This is reality, and I just keep looking forward and looking positively forward, knowing that a kidney transplant for her will get her back to a normal existence, and that's a good thing. So we're just gonna stick with this plan right now. I don't want to say anything beyond that plan, because I'm hoping that is the plan. She'll be tested, I'll be tested, Liz will be tested, we'll be a match, and we'll do it. So that's the goal right now. I'm not thinking beyond that, because that's where my head is. But as far as Piper's concerned, she's been doing school at home. She has the option to go on to the Zoom, and even her teacher has even said, if you want to get on the Zoom and not, the class doesn't need to know she's on there, she will just see the teacher, just because with her hair loss, she doesn't want anybody to see that, really. But that's not the issue anyways. She has the option to go on Zoom. She's fine. I sit with her, we do school, we do school like Tuesdays and Thursdays for sure. Like, she's really good. She's super smart. So she does most of her homework and she's fine with it. So sometimes it's just me and her, and obviously Liz does it. She's the mad organizer of all this. She emails with the teacher and makes sure that what she's sending in is good and what she gets is good, and she makes sure that, if who's bringing the work home to us, in a timely manner and all that stuff. Liz is a rock star when it comes to organizational stuff like that. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays is usually when I have my school time with her, and I consult Google a lot about fractions. I don't remember any of that stuff, but it's coming back to me. All I have to do is, think about it in life terms, measuring things and such. But it's funny how, fifth grade math can stump me. Like, what are they trying to say here? Then, we figure it out. So I actually brought that up to Piper, like, maybe you don't want to waste time with Dad figuring it out. You can listen to the teacher, and then you'll be like, oh, okay. But we figure it out. She's kind of, right now, she's like, no, that's good. She doesn't seem interested in the Zoom thing right now. Just because she's still keeping up. She's caught up with schoolwork. She's still all good. Her grades are still really good. So why fix something that's not broke, Speaking of, so on our way to dialysis today, Liz she was already at work, and she texted me. She's saying, like, make sure you check the traffic because there was a shooting at 71st on the Dan Ryan, and the traffic was all messed up this morning. And so I checked the traffic. It was fine by, we leave at around 10 a.m. It was fine by then. So we ran over to the school, and I dropped off Piper's homework, and then we were going down the street, and I heard a pop, and I'm like, oh crap, what's that? And then drove down the street even more, and then I heard the tire was flat. So I was like, oh great, and flat tire, no big deal, right? Pulled over, backed it down to I was on kind of a busier, 91st Street's kind of busier, but I just backed it down to Richmond, and then jacking it up, doing the thing, and then realized that the rim was stuck onto the drum. I gave the tire probably several dozen front kicks and no budging at all. Like, the tire was straight up stuck onto the fucking car. And so, like, I remember, this has happened before to a couple cars that I had, and I would just jack it down, let the weight of the car pop it off, and then jack it back up. So I jacked it, and I have the one in the car with the crank. I got a nice jack at home, but of course you don't have that in the car. You got the crank one. I'm cranking it down, and this is a Jeep Patriot, so I jacked it all the way down, and it sits high, so the weight of the vehicle doesn't go to the ground. So while I'm doing all this, I had texted my mom. Luckily, she lives right in the area, and she calls me back, and I said, I'm changing a tire, but the rim's stuck on. So she called me back, and I said, I just need, basically I need a crowbar. And luckily she had a really nice long crowbar, which is exactly what I needed. Even with the crowbar, it still took some effort to get it off. It was almost rusted on. So yeah, so we were late to dialysis today. Not too bad though, but I ran over a razor blade. There was a broken razor blade stuck out of the tire. So that's today. And of course, it's Friday. Working tomorrow. Sunday, most tire places are closed. I had ran into one over here. I was delusional, thinking that I can possibly get a tire, because I need 2 new tires in the back anyways. And you know, sometimes you need to listen to your intuition, because I had said to myself at least a week or 2 ago, those 2 back tires need to be replaced. And lo and behold, got a flat tire in the back. And my mom was like, well, maybe it's good you didn't get a new tire, because then you get when you got flat here. But I don't think that a razor blade would go through a new tire. I could be wrong about that though. But anyways, so, and Monday is the big day. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud to you. You guys don't care. I have to get a new tire. 2 new tires. Looks like Tuesday will be the first day I can actually get that done. But the more important thing is here that, you know, Piper needs a kidney transplant. And yeah, that's where we're at now. Piper knows. She knows that. You know, she still has the rock star attitude of, well, that's what we gotta do. So she just wants to be able to swim again. That's what her main concern was. She's like, if I can go swimming, that'd be great, you know. But, you know, she's a trooper. And so maybe it hasn't hit her, but we'll take it day by day. I talk to her, try to talk to her to get her thoughts out of her. She seems to be doing pretty good, considering. I think she's doing amazing. But I think I'm going to end it here. I think I covered what I needed to cover and then some. So that's where we're at. So I will let you know what the time frame is, and you know, I'll give you updates as I get them. Thank you guys. Love you. Bye.